Laws of friction. In this module, you will learn about friction and the laws of friction. You must have noticed that when powder is sprinkled on a carom board, the striker runs easily. This is because the powder reduces the force that opposes the motion of the striker on the carom board surface. This resistance to the relative motion between any two solid objects is termed as friction or frictional force. Let us consider an example to explore the frictional force. An object of mass m at rest on a horizontal table, the force of gravity mg is cancelled by the normal reaction n of the table. Therefore, the net external force on the object is 0. Now, the object is pulled horizontally by a small external force, and then, instead of accelerating, it remains at rest. This implies that another force exists, that is acting opposite to the applied force, resulting in zero net force on the object. This force opposing the applied force acts tangential to the surface of contact is called the frictional force. At the macroscopic level, friction is caused due to the roughness of two surfaces in contact. At the microscopic level, the cause of friction is the traction between the molecules constituting the two objects in contact. The frictional force can broadly be divided into static friction, kinetic or sliding friction, and rolling friction. Static friction Fs is the frictional force that exists when two surfaces are at rest. Kinetic friction comes to play when two objects are in relative motion, and rolling friction exists when an object rolls along the surface. Let us now explore static friction using an example. The static friction comes to play when horizontal force is applied on an object. As the applied force F increases, the static frictional force Fs also increases. The static friction obeys certain laws. According to these laws, static friction is self-adjusting force and continues to change in order to remain equal and opposite of the applied force to a maximum limit for limiting friction till the object is at rest. Now, if you keep increasing the weight of the object, the value of the limiting friction will also increase. According to the law, the limiting frictional force is directly proportional to the normal reaction N. The constant of proportionality, mu S, is called the coefficient of static friction, and hence the static friction depends on the nature of the surfaces in contact, but is independent of the area of contact. In this module you have learned the force which opposes the motion is called the frictional force. The frictional force can be broadly divided into static friction, kinetic or sliding friction, and rolling friction. Static friction is that frictional force which acts between the surfaces of two bodies at rest or before the bodies actually start moving. The static friction is self-adjusting and is equal and opposite to the applied force up to the maximum possible value called limiting friction. The limiting frictional force is directly proportional to the normal reaction N.